So Roscommon 13 points, Mayo 116. Mayo are into the Connacht Senior Football Championship final after a 6-point win over Roscommon at Dr. Hyde Park, and what a win in the end for Mayo. Look, listen, obviously coming into the game, I think people had Mayo down as slight favourites. Obviously Mayo, they were coming into this game with a bit of momentum. They obviously beat Galway very convincingly in the league. They put out a good display against Tyrone despite getting beat, and obviously beat Leitrim last weekend. But I think, Mayo once again have announced themselves as a threat for the All-Ireland. Anyone who thinks they are not All-Ireland contenders are certainly, you're not with it, in my opinion. You're definitely not with it if you do not think that Mayo are All-Ireland contenders, because they certainly are. And look, listen, obviously they might not beat Galway next weekend, but if they do beat Galway, they could easily beat Kerry or Cork in the final, or in the semi-final. At the time of this recording, obviously Cork and Kerry is at half-time, so, we'll have to see what happens there. But look, listen, a huge display by Mayo in this game, and what a victory for them. What's going on, everyone? It's Aaron here, back again from GA Fan TV, and of course I'm here with my reaction and my thoughts after Mayo's 6-point win over Roscommon in the Connacht Senior Football Championship semi-final. Huge victory for Mayo, has to be said. 6-point victory, earned out the win here today against Roscommon. A really well-rounded performance from Mayo today. Cillian O'Connor hitting 9 points in total. The likes of Paddy Dirk and Owen McLaughlin influential coming from the wing-back position, and in the end Mayo getting the victory. But of course, as always, what we'll do first of all is we'll have a look at the teams that took to the field today. So we'll start off with the Roscommon team. So in goal we had Colm Lavin. In the full back line it was David Murray, Conor Daly and Sean Malooly. In the half back line, Niall Daly, Brian Stack and Ronan Daly. In midfield it was Tygo Rourke and Cathal Compton. In the half forward line it was Cian McKeown, Enda Smith and Niall Kilroy. And of course in the full forward line, Cathal Craig, Conor Cox and Donny Smith. Moving on to the Mayo team, so we had David Clark in goal, then we had Oisin Mullen, Chris Barrett, Lee Keegan, Paddy Durkin, Stephen Cohen and Owen McLaughlin. In midfield it was Conor Loftus and Matthew Ruan, and of course in the half forward line it was Dermot O'Connor, Ryan O'Donoghue and Kevin McLaughlin. And of course in the full forward line, Cillian O'Connor, Aidan O'Shea and Tommy Conroy. And what a victory in the end, of course, it was for Mayo, as we said before. The 6-point victory. And for me, what really won the game for me in this for Mayo was the support from the wing backs, the support from the likes of Paddy Durkin and Owen McLaughlin. I thought they were both phenomenal in this game. Look, listen, Cillian O'Connor certainly deserved of man of the match in my opinion. He once again proves that he is one of the best players in the country. A lot of people, when they think of Cillian O'Connor, they think of him as a free kick taker. They think of him as maybe missing crucial frees against Dublin, and I think that's a lot very unfair in my opinion. I think he's a very well-rounded player. He's a very good at taking his chances when they come to him, nipping beyond his man, creating the space and slotting points over the bar from difficult angles at times. A lot of really well taken points in that game from Cillian O'Connor. But for me, Paddy Durkin was my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. What Mayo have done really well since the return of the lockdown is they've been really good at actually getting extra men forward, at really supporting the attack with their wing backs, with the likes of Owen McLaughlin and Paddy Durkin. And opposition defences are struggling to deal with it. I think Galway massively struggled with it, and I think in this game it was very similar. Paddy Durkin breaking beyond his man, the likes of Conor Loftus as well, a very attacking midfielder. He was causing a lot of problems for that Roscommon team. And yeah, look, listen, I think we've seen it very early on with Paddy Durkin going on a great run, slotting over a really good score, and Roscommon were poor defensively, there's absolutely no doubt about it. They struggled massively to track players. I think Dermot O'Connor, for his goal in particular, they didn't track him at all. You could see him running from the left-hand side when Owen McLaughlin was going on that very tidy run. Offloaded, of course, to Dermot O'Connor, who was able to slot it to the left of Colm Lavin in goal. And yeah, look, listen, Mayo, when they had the lead, it was very hard for Roscommon to turn it around. I mean, look, listen, Mayo were playing with the wind in the first half, which I think, in most people's eyes would make a massive difference. I think in the overall context of the game, we've seen that it really didn't, because Roscommon in the second half had the wind and didn't really use it. And they were all over the place at the back, Roscommon. They were struggling, and I think it had a lot to do with the attacking display of Mayo and of the wing backs. Conor Loftus making the run, Ryan O'Donoghue, Jeremy O'Connor and Kevin McLaughlin at times were interchanging. They were making it very hard for Roscommon to pick them up. Aidan O'Shea, he has to get a special mention as well, especially in the first half. Had a really good game. He just offers Mayo that something different, doesn't he, from the centre forward position, or from the full forward position, where he's very good at catching ball high up the pitch and obviously drifting into the half forward line as well, causing all sorts of problems. I think for Roscommon, they weren't too bad from their own kickouts. They were winning the ball. At times Colm Lavin was going short, and Cathal Compton in the midfield was doing a bright job at times. But I think for Roscommon, where they let themselves down really was going forward. They couldn't really transition from midfield to attack with ease. They were struggling quite a lot with that. And there were opportunities there. Connor Cox maybe missing a couple of easy chances. Enda Smith very quiet by his account. And I think when we look at it from a Roscommon point of view, they're not a team, unfortunately, that's going to score 118, 119, 220 or anything like that. One of the reasons why they've been successful at winning a lot of matches is they've been very structured in defence, very good at taking goal opportunities. Enda Smith in particular has been crucial to that. I think, when you take the likes of Enda Smith and Connor Cox out of the game, it becomes very difficult for Roscommon. And that was kind of how the entire game went. 1-6 from play in the first half. 1-6 from play in the first half from Mayo. Very, very impressive indeed. And even in the second half, you thought, will Roscommon offer something a little bit different? Will they be a bit more rejuvenated? Will they have a bit more about them to actually go ahead and turn this around? And in reality, they didn't. I mean, they had a 50th, or in the 50th minute, they had a spell of kicking 4 points without reply, and he thought maybe, okay, now they're about to turn the screw. It just didn't happen. Again, Owen McLaughlin racing down the wing, of course, picking out Paddy Durkin, and he was able to slot it over and, of course, kill the momentum. Matthew Rowan as well was very bright in midfield at getting forward, and I think that's what Mayo are very good at, in my opinion. I look at Mayo this year compared to previous years. They're a very attacking team, and it might maybe cost them defensively at times, if they're too attacking, but they play very intricate play in that half forward line. At times they're offloading the ball very quickly. Jeremy O'Connor into Killian O'Connor, Tommy Conroy getting involved. They're very good at that intricate play and build up, and very impressive stuff from Mayo. And in the end, Roscommon just didn't have an answer, and I think you could see with the options from the bench as well, Roscommon just don't probably have the options that Mayo have. The fact that Mayo were able to bring on Mark Moran, who had an unbelievable display against Galway. He was able to come off the bench in this game. Very impressive indeed. And listen, obviously for Mayo, they turned their attention to Galway next weekend. I fancy Mayo to get the victory. I didn't before a ball was kicked. And look, listen, I'm not just going off recency bias. Obviously Galway lost 2 games in the league, and Mayo have been on a good run. But I do think that with Galway not playing Sligo, I think that's a big disappointment from a Galway point of view, because you've seen even Mayo playing that game versus Leitrim. I think that helped them for this game, getting a run out, getting a game, getting players up to more up to match fitness. Roscommon didn't have that, and I think that cost them a little bit. They, endurance wise, fitness wise, didn't quite look up to the same level as Mayo today. And I think that's something that maybe could cost Galway next week. If Galway could at least get a win under their belt, just to try and forget about that defeat to Mayo a couple of weeks ago. That defeat is going to be fresh in the mind of Padraig Joyce. It's going to be fresh in the mind of James Horan and those Mayo players, and certainly they will have a lot of confidence going into it. But we will have to see what happens. It's certainly going to be close, or will it be close? Will Mayo run away with it again? We don't know. We'll have to see. But I am going to wrap this up here. Do let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the game. As I said before, my man of the match was Paddy Durkin. Outstanding for me. Not just going forward, but defensively at times, slotting back as well. What people forget was Enda Smith was marking Paddy Durkin, so it caused all sorts of problems. Enda Smith had to try get back and mark him, and that's something that Mayo are doing very well at the moment, is their wing backs and their corner backs as well. Oisin Mullen, very impressive, very, very good player. So look, listen, we'll wrap this up here. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know down in the comments below who was your man of the match, and stay tuned for more fan reactions and match reactions coming soon, and I'll see you later.